Hello ladies and gentlemen, in this video we are going to cover the most important questions January 2020. So now let's start. On which date the International Day of Education is observed every year? So it is observed on 24th of January and it is observed by UNESCO. And the theme of this year's International Day of Education is Learning for People, Planet, Prosperity and Peace. Now 24th of January is International Day of Education, while 25th of January is National Voters Day. Why 25th of January? Because on 25th of January in 1950, that means one day before Republic Day, Election Commission of India was constituted. ECI is a constitutional body and Article 324 of Indian Constitution contains the provision for the Election Commission of India. Present Chief Election Commissioner is Mr. Sunil Arora. And other two election commissioners are Mr. Ashok Lavasa and Mr. Sushil Chandra. Answer in comment box through which Constitutional Amendment Act the age of voting was reduced from 21 to 18. Ministry of Rural Development has recently signed a Memorandum of Understanding with which of the following organizations? So recently MORD, that is Ministry of Rural Development, signed Memorandum of Understanding with Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, and this memorandum is under Deen Dayal Antyodaya Yojana National Rural Livelihood Mission. So the objective of this memorandum is to strengthen the institutions at grassroots level. So this will focus on improving the life of poor people. Now Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation was also in news as recently government launched Bharatiya Bhushan Krishi Course, and it is a repository of diverse crops. And for this initiative, the Ministry of Women and Child Development collaborated with Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. Present Minister of Women and Child Development is Ms. Smriti Irani and her constituency is Amethi. Amethi is in Uttar Pradesh. Who has been recently awarded with the Subhash Chandra Bose Aapda Prabandhan Puraskar 2020. So recently on 23rd of January, the birth anniversary of Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose was celebrated. And on this occasion, the government announced the Subhash Chandra Bose Aapda Prabandhan Puraskar. So this award is given in two categories. One is institution and one is individual. So in individual category, Kumar Munnan Singh was given the Subhash Chandra Bose Aapda Prabandhan Puraskar. While in institution category, this award was given to the Disaster Mitigation and Management Center of Uttarakhand. Now, if we talk about disaster, we have NDMA, that is National Disaster Management Authority, and Prime Minister is the chairman of this authority. In addition to that, we have NDRF, that is National Disaster Response Force, and it is a statutory body under DMA, that is Disaster Management Act of 2005, and this NDRF is under MHA, that is Ministry of Home Affairs. Which state has recently made reading of Preamble to the Constitution as a mandatory practice in schools? So recently Madhya Pradesh government made it mandatory. So as per the order, Preamble would be read out every Saturday by the headmaster or by the teacher in all schools after prayer, along with the students. A similar decision was taken by Rajasthan government, and Rajasthan government made it mandatory to read Preamble on daily basis. Now, if we talk about Preamble, answer in comment box, can Preamble be amended? Which state's tourism department has received the special mention honor as Emerging Global Destination in the United Nations World Tourism Organization Global Destination Award of 2019? So it is Kerala government, and the Barrier Free Tourism Project implemented by the Kerala Tourism has received the special mention honor as Emerging Global Destination. Now Kerala is the first state to work as per the guidelines issued by UNWTO, that is United Nations World Tourism Organization, on making the destinations differentially abled friendly. Now, if we talk about Kerala, recently Kerala approached Supreme Court under Article 131 of Indian Constitution regarding Citizenship Amendment Act. Kerala was also in news as it was the first state to pass a resolution against CAA, and CAA has already become effective from 10th of January. Kerala was also in news as 3 cities in Kerala are fastest growing urban centers across the world as per the ranking released by EIU, that is Economist Intelligence Unit. So these 3 cities are Malappuram, Kozhikode and Kollam. So these are the fastest growing urban areas in the world as per this index by EIU. Now EIU was also in news as recently it released Democracy Index. Answer in comment box, what is India's rank as per this Democracy Index? So what is the name of award recently presented by the Indian President to the children in the field of innovation, social service, sports, art and culture, as well as in the field of bravery? So the name of this award is Bal Shakti Puruskar, and the President of India, Mr. Ramnath Kovind, recently presented the award to 49 children in the age group of 5 to 18 years. Now one thing that should be kept in mind is that Pradhan Mantri Rashtriya Bal Puruskar Award was instituted by Ministry of Women and Child Development, and it is given under 2 categories. One is Bal Shakti and one is Bal Kalyan. So this is given to the individuals and institutions who have contributed for child welfare, and this Bal Shakti is given to the children in the field of innovation, social service, sports, art and culture and bravery. Now present Women and Child Development Minister is Ms. Smriti Irani, and recently she was in news as she inaugurated the biggest charkha made up of plastic waste, and she inaugurated this charkha in Noida. Noida is in Uttar Pradesh. Capital of Uttar Pradesh is Lucknow, and Uttar Pradesh is going to be the host of this year's Defense Expo. What is the current investment limit for FPI in government and corporate bonds after the recent directions of Reserve Bank of India? So recently RBI increased the investment limit for FPI in government and corporate bonds. The previous limit was 20%. Now it has been increased to 30%. So this relaxation is expected to attract more investment. Now if we talk about RBI, recently RBI was in news because of Operation Twist. Answer in comment box, what was the objective of this operation? RBI was also in news as recently Mr. Michael Patra was appointed as the Deputy Governor of RBI. There are total 4 Deputy Governors in RBI, and the Governor of RBI is Mr. Shaktikant Das. RBI Governor is the Chairman of MPC, that is Monetary Policy Committee. RBI was also in news as recently RBI launched Money app to help visually challenged to identify the notes, that means to identify the currency notes. And one more thing, your homework is to find out the difference between FDI, that is Foreign Direct Investment, and FPI, that is Foreign Portfolio Investment, and what is FII, that is Foreign Institutional Investor. Which organization is set to develop the National Data and Analytics Platform? So NITI Aayog is going to develop the National Data and Analytics Platform, that is NDAP. And recently it was in news because the Vice Chairman of NITI Aayog released the vision document for this platform, and the first version of NDAP will be released in 2021. Now if we talk about NITI Aayog, it is executive body. Prime Minister is the ex officio chairman of NITI Aayog. Ex officio means whosoever is Prime Minister will be the chairman of NITI Aayog. Now recently NITI Aayog was also in news because of few reports and indexes. NITI Aayog was in news because of SEQI, that is School Education Quality Index. As per this index, Kerala is top performing state and Uttar Pradesh is the worst performer. Now NITI Aayog was also in news as recently it released SDG India Index. It is Sustainable Development Goals. In addition to that, NITI Aayog was also in news as it released India Innovation Index. Now we have uploaded a special video covering all the important reports and index. You can watch that. India recently handed over the consignment of measles and rubella vaccines to which country after a suspected outbreak? So recently India handed over the vaccines to Maldives. to control the outbreak of measles in the country. It should be kept in mind that though Maldives has eliminated the spread of measles, the government of Maldives suspected an outbreak and therefore Indian government provided the help. Now, if we talk about Maldives, capital of Maldives is Malé and president of Maldives is Mr. Ibrahim Mohammed Soli. Maldives is celebrating 2020 as Year of Public Health, and Ikuvreen is the name of joint military exercise between Indian Army and National Defence Force of Maldives, and last year, that means in 2019, this exercise held in Pune in Maharashtra. World Holocaust Forum was recently convened in which city to remember the Holocaust and counter anti-Semitism? So this forum was recently convened in Jerusalem. Which country recently conducted the training launch of nuclear-capable surface-to-surface ballistic missile Ghaznavi? So it was conducted by Pakistan. It is a surface-to-surface ballistic missile, and this surface-to-surface ballistic missile Ghaznavi is also known as HATF-3. Now, if we talk about Pakistan, Pakistan was in news recently as Pakistan has decided to import polio markers from India. Actually, there are only two WHO pre-qualified manufacturers in world. One is India and another one is China. So, these two countries make non-toxic markers. Now, Pakistan was also in news because of a mob attack on Sikh shrine Nankana Sahib in Pakistan. Apart from that, Pakistan was also in news as the death penalty of former Pakistan President Pervez Musharraf was quashed by High Court of Pakistan. The Exim Bank has recently extended $35.8 million line of credit to which South American country to fund its rural electrification program. So recently, Exim Bank, that is Export-Import Bank of India, on the behalf of Government of India, extended this line of credit to Suriname for the funding of rural electrification project. Now, if we talk about Suriname, it is a South American country and it shares border boundary with Atlantic Ocean. So, it is bordered by Atlantic Ocean to the north, French Guiana to the east, Guyana to the west, and Brazil to the south. Capital of this country is Paramaribo. Answer in comment box what connects Atlantic Ocean with Pacific Ocean. What is the GDP growth rate of India in fiscal year 2021 as estimated by India Ratings and Research? So, India Ratings and Research has recently estimated that the GDP of India to grow at 5.5%, and as per the rating agency, the growth would improve in upcoming time, but the country's economy is stuck in low consumption, low investment phase. The rating agency also observed that there is a shortfall in tax plus non-tax revenue. So this will make the fiscal deficit slip to 3.6%. The target was 3.3%. So as per this rating agency, even after the surplus transfer by RBI, the fiscal deficit target could not be possibly achieved. RBI had transferred the surplus to the Government of India, and even after that surplus transfer, as per this rating agency, this fiscal deficit targets could not be possibly achieved. On which date the National Girl Child Day is celebrated annually in our country? So it is celebrated on 24th of January and it was started by Women and Child Development Ministry in 2008. Russia has been selected as the focal theme country of which International Book Fair of India? So recently, Kolkata Book Fair selected Russia as the focal theme country. Russia was in news as recently the entire government of Russia headed by Prime Minister resigned and Mr. Mikhail Mishustin was appointed as the new Prime Minister of Russia. Russia was also in news as recently WADA, that is World Anti-Doping Agency, banned Russia for 4 years on the charges of doping. Russia was also in news because of Power of Siberia. It is a pipeline between Russia and China, and recently it was inaugurated by Russian President and Chinese President. Russia was also in news because of S-400 missiles, as recently Russia said that all the S-400 missiles will be delivered to India by 2025. India and Russia had signed an agreement for S-400 missiles. The first e-waste clinic of India was recently opened in which city? So it was opened in Bhopal in Madhya Pradesh, and it was jointly set up by CPCB, that is Central Pollution Control Board, and BMC, that is Bhopal Municipal Corporation. Now, if we talk about CPCB, it is under Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change. It was established in 1974 under Water Act, that is Water Prevention and Control of Pollution Act. Now, CPCB is also given the powers and functions under Air Prevention and Control of Pollution Act. In addition to that, it is also given some functions under EPA, that is Environment Protection Act of 1986. The Election Commission of which country is to take over the chair of Forum of Election Management Bodies of South Asia in 2020. So, Election Commission of India is to take over the chair of this forum. Recently, Election Commission of India hosted the annual meeting of this forum in New Delhi, and the theme was strengthening institutional capacity. Election Commission of India was also in news because of its decision to renew the Memorandum of Understanding for Cooperation in Election Management with the Election Commission of Afghanistan. Now, if we talk about Afghanistan, recently Afghanistan became the first country to recognize Indian pharmacopoeia. The capital of Afghanistan is Kabul, currency is Afghani, and the president is Mr. Ashraf Ghani. Which public sector enterprise under the Department of Chemicals and Petrochemicals was approved to be shut down recently? So recently HFL, that is Hindustan Fluorocarbons Limited, which is a subsidiary of Hindustan Organic Chemicals Limited, that is HOCL. So HFL was involved in the manufacturing of PTFF, that is polytetrafluoroethylene and chlorodifluoromethane, and it has only one plant, and that plant is situated in Sangareddy district in Telangana. So this HFL will be closed down as per the decision of Government of India. Actually, the HFL has only one revenue earning product, that was HCFC 22. Now the government has decided to reduce this, so this HFL became economically non-viable. Therefore, the government decided to close it down. Now, if we talk about Telangana, Telangana is celebrating 2020 as Year of Artificial Intelligence. Which country was ranked first on the breastfeeding rate according to a new survey conducted by World Breastfeeding Trends Initiative? So, this country is Sri Lanka, and Sri Lanka is the top performer as per the survey conducted by WBTI. Now, if we talk about Sri Lanka, recently Mr. Gotabaya Rajapaksa became the president of Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka was also in news as it became first South Asian nation to criminalize match fixing related offences. Sri Lanka was also in news as recently it was removed from the grey list of FATF. FATF stands for Financial Action Task Force. The headquarters of FATF is in France in Paris, and recently Saudi Arabia became the full-fledged member of FATF. Answer in comment box is GCC, that is Gulf Cooperation Council, an associate partner of FATF. What is India's ranking as per recently released CPI, that is Corruption Perception Index? So India is on 80th rank as per this recently released CPI. This index is released by Transparency International, and Transparency International is a non-governmental organization and it was founded in 1993, and the headquarters of Transparency International is in Berlin in Germany. So as per this index, India is on 80th position while Denmark and New Zealand are the top performers. So the first edition of Ganga Volga dialogue was recently held in New Delhi to enhance the bilateral cooperation between India and which country? So this Ganga Volga dialogue held in New Delhi to enhance the cooperation between India and Russia. And this dialogue was organized by MEA, that is Ministry of External Affairs, in association with Dr. Shama Prasad Mukherjee Research Foundation. Present Minister of External Affairs is Mr. S. Jayasankar. Russia was also in news because of Power of Siberia. It is a pipeline between Russia and China. Apart from that, Russia was also in news as recently Mr. Mikhail Mishustin was appointed as the new Prime Minister of Russia. Russia was also in news as it was banned by WADA for 4 years. WADA is World Anti-Doping Agency. The International Summit on Women in STEM, that is Science, Technology, Engineering and Mathematics, was recently held in which city? So this summit held in New Delhi, and the theme was Visualizing the Future, New Skylines. So the summit was organized by DBT, that is Department of Biotechnology. It is under Ministry of Science and Technology, and the objective of this event was to encourage the participation of women in STEM field. STEM stands for Science, Technology, Engineering and Mathematics. Now, if we talk about Ministry of Science and Technology, present minister is Dr. Harshvardhan. He is handling the portfolio of Ministry of Earth Sciences as well as Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. Now, to attract more people to study science, an initiative was started, and the name of initiative was Inspire. Answer in comment box. It is an initiative by which ministry? What is the theme of National Voters Day, which is celebrated across the country? So National Voters Day is celebrated every year on 25th of January, and for the first time it was celebrated in 2011, and it is celebrated because on this day in 1950 Election Commission of India was established, and the theme for this year's National Voters Day was Electoral Literacy for Stronger Democracy. So Election Commission of India is a constitutional body, and recently former Chief Election Commissioner Mr. T.N. Seshan passed away. Apart from that, Election Commission of India was also in news as recently it launched PPR TMS, that is Political Parties Registration Tracking Management System. So it is a platform launched for the tracking of registration of political parties. India signed Memorandum of Understanding with World Bank for Agribusiness and Rural Transformation Project of which state? So recently Government of India and State Government of Maharashtra and World Bank signed a loan agreement of $210 million for the Agribusiness and Rural Transformation Project of State of Maharashtra. Now this project will help the small and marginal farmers to increase their market access. So this project will be implemented in certain districts of Maharashtra. Now recently World Bank was also in news as World Bank is the funding partner for Atal Bhujal Yojana. This is an initiative by central government, and the objective of this scheme is to promote the sustainable management of groundwater resources, and for this the funding pattern is 50-50. That means 50% of the funding would be provided by World Bank and 50% would be provided by Government of India. Now this is a scheme for groundwater management. There is another scheme, that is Jal Jeevan Mission, and the objective of this initiative is to provide access to tap water to every household. Apart from that, recently water quality report was released for state capitals. Now answer in comment box which ministry released this report. Which Indian private sector bank has recently launched its wealth management platform called Pioneer Banking? So recently Indus Ind Bank launched its wealth management platform Pioneer Banking. So what is so special about this initiative? Actually, this service mainly focus on high net worth individuals, and under this scheme the bank will provide various benefits to these high net worth individuals, including free doorstep banking up to rupee 4 lakh per day. So this is an initiative by Indus Ind Bank. Now the headquarters of this bank is in Mumbai. Mumbai is the financial capital of India, and recently Mr. Suman Katpalia was appointed as the new MD and CEO of this Indus Ind Bank. He will replace Mr. Romesh Sobti. Mr. Sobti will retire in March 2020, and the tagline of this bank is "We make you feel richer." Which steel plant of India was recently awarded at World Economic Forum annual meet for being included in the Lighthouse Network of World Economic Forum. So this is Tata Steel Kalingnagar plant, and in July 2019 it became the first and only Indian manufacturing plant to be included in the Lighthouse Network of World Economic Forum, and therefore it was recently awarded by the World Economic Forum. Now recently the annual meeting of WEF held in Davos. It was 50th meeting and Indian delegation was led by Mr. Piyush Goyal. World Economic Forum was also in news as it recently released gender gap report. Apart from that, recently World Economic Forum was in news because of 1t.org, and the objective of this initiative is to grow, restore and conserve 1 trillion trees around the world by 2030. In addition to that, World Economic Forum was also in news as recently it released Social Mobility Report. The Global Consortium for Digital Currency Governance was recently announced by which organization? So this consortium was announced at the annual meeting of World Economic Forum, and this consortium focused on creating a framework for governance of digital currencies, and this is a first of its kind initiative. Now if we talk about World Economic Forum, it is non-governmental organization. The headquarters of WEF is in Switzerland, and the founder and executive chairman of WEF, Mr. Klaus Schwab. Jair Bolsonaro, who was the chief guest of Republic Day celebrations of India, is the president of which country? So he is the president of Brazil, and he was the chief guest for this year's Republic Day ceremony. Now it should be noted that he became the president in 2018, and this is his first visit to India. The capital of Brazil is Brasilia. Recently, the BRICS summit also held in Brazil. Now there is a BRICS bank also, which is now known as New Development Bank. Answer in comment box, where is the headquarters of this bank? Apart from that, Brazil was also in news as recently it decided to open a new Antarctic research base. The International Children's Film Festival was recently inaugurated in which South Asian country with the theme Under the World. So this was inaugurated in Dhaka in Bangladesh. Now Bangladesh was also in news as recently it became the first South Asian country to introduce e-passport, and recently the first e-passport was issued to Prime Minister of Bangladesh, Ms. Sheikh Hasina. Capital of Bangladesh is Dhaka, currency is Taka, and the Prime Minister is Ms. Sheikh Hasina. Her political party is Awami League. In fact, Bangladesh is the top country in South Asia in gender gap report. It is on 50th position. India is on 112nd position. Yemen is the worst performing country as per this report, and this report was released by World Economic Forum. India has signed an agreement with which country to upgrade Ashuganj-Akhura road into 4-lane highway? So India and Bangladesh signed an agreement to upgrade the Ashuganj-Akhura road into 4-lane highway. This will improve the connectivity between India and Bangladesh. So as you can see in the map, this is Ashuganj and this is Akhura. The ban on which Indian Sports Federation has been lifted recently by the international regulator ahead of Tokyo 2020. So right answer is Archery Association of India. So recently this ban was removed by the World Archery so that the Indian players can participate in the Tokyo Olympics. Actually, this Archery Association of India was suspended by the World Archery on the grounds of interference in the election. And recently, Union Minister of Tribal Affairs, Mr. Arjun Munda, was elected as the President of Archery Association of India. And since it was suspended last year, so recently, the President of Indian Olympic Association, Mr. Narendra Batra, requested World Archery to lift a ban so that India can participate in this archery competition of World Olympics, in this archery competition of Tokyo Olympics of 2020. Therefore, World Archery lifted this ban conditionally. Now, if we talk about Tokyo Olympics, these are Summer Olympic Games. Next Summer Olympic Games will be in 2024 in France, while Winter Olympic Games are going to be in China in 2022, and in 2026, Winter Olympic Games are going to be in Italy. Union Minister of Tribal Affairs has proposed 6th schedule area status to which Union Territory of India? So it was proposed for Ladakh. Now why 6th schedule area status? Because areas under 6th schedule are granted significant autonomy and they get the powers to make their own laws. So presently areas in the 4 states are under 6th schedule. These are ATMM, Assam, Tripura, Meghalaya and Mizoram. Now 6th schedule was also in news as CAA, that is Citizenship Amendment Act, won't be applicable in the areas of 6th schedule as well as in the areas of ILP. ILP stands for Inner Line Permit, and recently ILP was extended into Manipur. So now 4 states are under ILP. These are Arunachal Pradesh, Nagaland, Manipur, Mizoram. All these 4 states share border boundary with Myanmar, so you can remember it with this trick. India's first war memorial for service animals is to be set up in which city? So it will be set up in Meerut in Uttar Pradesh. Recently Uttar Pradesh was in news as India's first university for transgenders will be set up in Kushinagar in Uttar Pradesh. Apart from that, Uttar Pradesh was also in news as recently the first meeting of National Ganga Council held in Uttar Pradesh in Kanpur. Now answer in comment box who is the chairman of National Ganga Council. Apart from that, Uttar Pradesh is the host of this year's Defence Expo. On which date National Tourism Day is celebrated across country? So it is celebrated on 25th of January. Now this is National Tourism Day that is celebrated on 25th of January, while World Tourism Day is celebrated on 27th of September. And related to tourism, there is a World Tourism, and related to tourism, there is a World Trade and Tourism Index. So this index is prepared by World Economic Forum. And as per this index, India is on 34th position. Previously, India was on 40th position, and the index is topped by Spain. Spain was also in news as recently the 25th Conference of Parties held in Spain, and this was under the presidency of Chile. Which Indian airport introduced a service called Women with Wheels taxi service for women operated by women drivers? So this was started at IGI Airport, New Delhi, and the service is initiated by Sakha Cabs. So the taxis are driven by women drivers and transport services are provided only to the female passengers, and this was launched at IGI Airport in New Delhi. The Government of India has signed an agreement with which Indian multinational corporation to improve the performance of GST Portal? So for this, the Government of India has signed an agreement with Infosys. Now it should be noted that Infosys is the service provider for the GST regime in our country. GST stands for Goods and Services Tax, and GST Council is headed by Finance Minister. So to improve the performance of GST portal, the Government of India signed agreement with Infosys, and the technological changes will be operational from April 2020. The online monitoring platform named Gati was recently launched by which union ministry? So this was launched by Ministry of Road Transport and Highways, and this portal is created by NHAI. NHAI stands for National Highway Authority of India. So NHAI is Ministry of Road Transport and Highways. So what is the objective of this portal? Actually, this portal can be accessed from NHAI website, and in this portal, the contractors can raise the issues related to projects. And these project related issues will be resolved with the help of NHAI. Present Minister of Road Transport and Highways is Mr. Nitin Gadkari. His constituency is Nagpur, and recently Nagpur resolution was in news. What was the objective of this resolution? Answer in comment box. Which zone of Indian Railways has commissioned the government's first waste to energy plant? So it is East Coast Railway. Actually, East Coast Railway has commissioned the government's first waste to energy plant. Now, it should be kept in mind that it is fourth such plant in India. However, this is first of its kind in Indian Railways, and this plant will turn e-waste and plastic waste into light diesel oil, and a technology named Polycrack was recently patented to convert this e-waste and plastic waste into light diesel oil. So this is first of its kind project for Indian Railways. Now, if we talk about e-waste, recently India's first e-waste clinic was started in Bhopal. Bhopal is in Madhya Pradesh, and this clinic is the joint initiative of Bhopal Municipal Corporation and CPCB. CPCB stands for Central Pollution Control Board. It is under Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change. Who has been recently conferred with the Harit Ratan Award in the field of agriculture? So recently, Mr. N. Kumar, the Vice Chancellor of Tamil Nadu Agricultural University, has been conferred Harit Ratan Award by the All India Agriculture Students Association. The country's first super Fab Lab, that is fabrication laboratory, is to be set up in which state? So it will be set up in Kerala, and recently it was launched and the facility was inaugurated by Chief Minister of Kerala, Mr. Pinarayi Vijayan. So this is first of such laboratory in our country. Now Kerala was also in news as it approached Supreme Court under Article 131 of Indian Constitution to oppose Citizenship Amendment Act. Kerala was also in news as it became the first state to pass a resolution against CAA. Which legendary Indian sportsperson was awarded with the prestigious Padma Vibhushan award recently? So recently, Miss MC Maricom, who is a well-known boxer, was conferred the Padma Vibhushan award on the Republic Day ceremony. Actually, this year, 7 personalities were presented Padma Vibhushan award, and it is the second highest civilian award next to Bharat Ratna. So these were the 7 personalities. You can take a screenshot. You need not to cram these names, just see them before exam. That will be more than enough. How many personalities were selected for the Padma Bhushan award? So recently 16 personalities were selected for Padma Bhushan. So total 141 Padma awards were announced this year. Out of these 141, 7 were Padma Vibhushan award, 16 were Padma Bhushan, and 118 were selected for Padma Shri awards. And these are the names who were selected for Padma Bhushan award. Again, you can take the screenshot or you can get these images from the Twitter account. The link is given in the description. The National Tourism Conference of year 2020 was recently organized in which city? So it was organized in Odisha in Konark, and this was organized jointly by the State Government of Odisha and FICCI. FICCI stands for Federation of Indian Chambers of Commerce and Industry. Tourism Minister is Mr. Prahlad Singh Patel. If we talk about tourism, recently 25th of January was celebrated as National Tourism Day, while World Tourism Day is celebrated on 27th of September. In addition to that, recently FICCI was in news as Ms. Sangeeta Reddy became the president of FICCI. Mark Rutte, who was seen in news recently, is the Prime Minister of which country? So Mr. Mark Rutte is the Prime Minister of Netherlands, and recently he was in news as he made the country's first apology for the persecution of Jews during Second World War. So this is first such apology, and that's why the Prime Minister of Netherlands was in news. If we talk about Netherlands, the capital of Netherlands is Amsterdam. Currency is Euro, and recently Netherlands officially decided to drop the name Holland. Netherlands was also in news as it is going to be the host of 2022 Women's Hockey World Cup. The Netherlands and Spain will co-host this tournament. On the other hand, India will host the Men's Hockey World Cup in 2023. Netherlands was also in news as recently India and Netherlands launched the second phase of Lotus HR initiative. Answer in comment box what is the objective of this initiative. Which city plays host to the annual event Bharat Parv 2020 which celebrates the spirit of India. So this Bharat Parv is an annual festival and this is being celebrated in New Delhi. The objective of this festival is to encourage Indians to visit different tourism destinations of India, and the theme of this year's festival is Ek Bharat Shrestha Bharat and celebrating 150 years of Mahatma Gandhi ji. Now, if we talk about Ek Bharat Shrestha Bharat, there is a initiative by the government of India, and actually this initiative was announced by the Prime Minister on the 140th birth anniversary of Sardar Patel. And the objective of this initiative is that every state and union territory would be paired with another state or union territory for the cultural exchange, so that people of one state get to know more about the cultures of another states of India. So this program is for cultural integration of India. Now, if we talk about Sardar Patel, recently the second tallest statue of Sardar Patel was inaugurated by the Chief Minister of Gujarat in Ahmedabad. The tallest statue of Sardar Patel is Statue of Unity, and recently it was in news as it was included in the 8 wonders of SCO. SCO stands for Shanghai Cooperation Organization. The headquarters of SCO is in Beijing. Beijing is in China, and recently Chinese city Wuhan was locked down because of coronavirus. National Institute of Rural Development and Panchayati Raj has recently partnered with which global organization to establish a communication resource unit? So recently NIR DPR partnered with UNICEF for this communication resource unit. Now this unit will act as a mechanism to provide communication support to the national programs like Bhushan Abhiyan, National Health Mission and Swachh Bharat Mission. So this communication resource unit will act as a communication channel, and this resource unit is currently operating in 3 states of India. These 3 states are Andhra Pradesh, Telangana and Karnataka. Telangana is celebrating 2020 as Year of Artificial Intelligence. Now, if we talk about UNICEF, it is United Nations Children's Fund. The headquarters is in New York in USA. And recently, UNICEF became the first organization of United Nations to make transactions in cryptocurrency. That means it allowed transactions in cryptocurrency, and therefore it became the first United Nations organization to allow so. Apart from that, UNICEF was also in news as recently UNICEF and WCD, that is Ministry of Women and Child Development, collaborated for Yuva initiative. Now answer in comment box what is the objective of this initiative. The Minister of Women and Child Development is Ms. Smriti Irani. Her constituency is Amethi in Uttar Pradesh. India's first biggest walk-through aviary with over 100 species of birds was recently inaugurated in which city? So recently the Chief Minister of Maharashtra, Mr. Uddhav Thackeray, inaugurated this country's first and biggest walk-through aviary. Now what does this mean? Actually it means it is a closed space in which birds are kept. Now it is a wide area, therefore birds can even fly. However, it should be noted that it is a closed space. That means birds cannot fly out of it. So sometimes these aviaries are also known as flight cages. The Chief Minister of Maharashtra is Mr. Uddhav Thackeray. Governor is Mr. Bhagat Singh Koshyari. What is the name of national award that is given to a person for meritorious act of human nature in saving the life of a person? So recently, President Mr. Ramnath Kovind approved Jeevan Raksha Padak series of awards, and total 54 personalities were selected for these awards. So these 54 are divided in 3 categories. One is Sarvottam Jeevan Raksha Padak, another one is Uttam Jeevan Raksha Padak, and third one is Jeevan Raksha Padak. So total 7 personalities were given Sarvottam Jeevan Raksha Padak, while 8 personalities were given Uttam Jeevan Raksha Padak, and 39 personalities were given Jeevan Raksha Padak. Now, if we talk about Jeevan Raksha Padak awards, it is a branch of Ashok Chakra, and the award is given for the meritorious act of human nature
in saving the life of a person in incidents like accident or natural calamities. Now, if we talk about various awards, these are the most common awards which are important for exam. So you can pause the screen and take a screenshot. Now again, no need to cram this information, just see it before exam and that will be sufficient. Shiv Bhojan scheme, which is aimed at providing a meal to the poor at subsidized rates, was recently launched in which state of India? So it was launched in Maharashtra, and as per this scheme, food is provided at subsidized rates. So one plate food is provided for 10 rupees, and the scheme was launched on the occasion of Republic Day. Maharashtra was also in news as it made Preamble mandatory in the schools. Now there was confusion regarding Preamble. A lot of students commented that okay, Maharashtra is the right answer, MP is not right answer. See, 4 states made decisions regarding Preamble. However, the time period or the way in which Preamble is made necessary is different for each state. So, in simple, you just need to remember 4 states: Maharashtra, Rajasthan, Chhattisgarh, and Madhya Pradesh. These are the 4 states who made decisions related to Preamble to make it a necessary part of schools. Now, Maharashtra was also in news as recently Maharashtra government launched Cyber Safe Women. So, this is an initiative related to cyber security and it was started by Maharashtra government. Now, answer in comment box. Recently, the police force of which state started Aswasth and Viswas project for cyber security? Sher Singh, who passed away recently, was the famous personality of which field? So Mr. Sher Singh was associated to art. He was a well-known artist and sculptor. Kobe Bryant, who recently died in a helicopter crash, was a legendary personality of which sports? So Mr. Bryant was associated to basketball and recently he died in a helicopter crash. He was the professional basketball player and he played in the NBA. NBA stands for National Basketball Association with the Los Angeles Lakers throughout his entire career. Which web series recently made a Guinness World Record in the largest Indian cinematic music band category? So recently, the Forgotten Army web series by filmmaker Mr. Kabir Khan has created a Guinness World Record for being the biggest ever team of musicians to perform live in the category of largest Indian cinematic music band. So this is a web series by Amazon, and recently the chief of Amazon, Mr. Jeff Bezos, was in India, and during his visit to India, he announced that the company will invest $1 billion in India in the next 5 years to help the digitization of small and medium businesses in our country. Amazon was also in news because of its Project Zero. The objective of this project is to prevent the sale of fake goods. Which state recently hosted the Innovation Festival in collaboration with National Innovation Foundation? So recently, Arunachal Pradesh hosted the Innovation Festival in collaboration with National Innovation Foundation of India. Now, Arunachal Pradesh was also in news as recently Chief Minister of Arunachal Pradesh, Mr. Pema Khandu, launched first Hindi newspaper of state, and the name of newspaper is Arun Bhumi. Arunachal Pradesh was also in news as recently APEDA, that is Agricultural and Processed Food Products Exports Development Authority, organized first ever International Buyer-Seller Meet in Arunachal Pradesh. Now answer in comment box. APEDA is associated to which ministry? The BSE, that is Bombay Stock Exchange, has signed a licensing agreement with which global operator of exchanges and clearing houses. So recently agreement was signed between BSE and ICE Futures of Europe. This ICE Futures Europe group is a global operator of exchanges and clearing houses, and this agreement was signed to use its Brent index as a settlement benchmark. Now, what does this mean? It means that it will enable the price of Brent crude prices to be discovered in the Indian time zone. Now, BSE was also in news as recently BSE collaborated with FICCI for the promotion of MSME sector. Present MSME minister is Mr. Nitin Gadkari. His constituency is Nagpur. He is also holding the portfolio of Ministry of Road Transport and Highways. Which Indian journalist has been selected as the outstanding media person in a national award of Kerala Media Academy? So Mr. N. Ram, the chairman of the Hindu Group, has been selected as the outstanding media person in a national award instituted by Kerala Media Academy. And this award will be presented by the Chief Minister of Kerala, Mr. Pinarayi Vijayan, in March 2020. Now, the Hindu Group was also in news as recently the Hindu Tamil won the Election Commission of India's award for the Voter Awareness and Education campaign in 2019. On which date International Customs Day is celebrated across the world? So it is celebrated on 26th of January and it was introduced by WCO, that is World Customs Organization, in 1983 to mark the anniversary of formation of Customs Cooperation Council. Now, if we talk about World Customs Organization, the headquarters is in Brussels in Belgium. Capital of Belgium is Brussels. Recently, Belgium was in news as Ms. Sophie Willems became the first female Prime Minister of Belgium. In fact, the headquarters of NATO is also in Brussels in Belgium. NATO stands for North Atlantic Treaty Organization, and the most recent summit of NATO held in London, and 2019 was the 70th anniversary of NATO. This year, that is 2020, is the 70th anniversary of United Nations. Which country recently introduced a new scheme of fast-track visa to attract scientists? So recently UK took this decision to introduce a new scheme of fast-track visa to attract world's best scientists. In addition to that, the Prime Minister of UK, Mr. Boris Johnson, also announced Global Talent Route Program. The objective of this program to promote research in advanced mathematics. The Prime Minister of UK is Mr. Boris Johnson. Which chess player won the title of Tata Steel Masters Chess Tournament? Right answer is Fabiano Caruana. So Mr. Fabiano Caruana of USA has won the title of Tata Steel Masters Chess Tournament, while Mr. Magnus Carlsen, who is the current world champion, finished on second position, and Indian Grandmaster Mr. Vishwanathan Anand finished at 6th position. Recently, Mr. Anand was also in news because of his book, and the title of his book was Mind Master: Winning Lessons from a Champion's Life. Who is the 18-year-old artist who won 4 prizes at Grammy Awards 2020? So recently, Miss Billie Eilish from USA has won the top 4 prizes at Grammy Awards. She won the Record of Year Award, Song of the Year, Best Album, and Best New Artist Award. And with this, she created history by becoming the youngest artist ever to win Album of the Year for her debut album. The Government of India and the State Government of Assam recently signed a tripartite agreement with which tribal group? So recently, a tripartite agreement was signed. Now, what is the meaning of this tripartite? It means 3 parties. So one is central government, another one is state government of Assam, and third is Bodo group. So this tripartite agreement was signed, and as per this agreement, Bodo Territorial Area District, that is BTAD, will be renamed as BTR in Assam. BTR stands for Bodoland Territorial Region. Now, it should be noted that this BTAD, which will be renamed as BTR, and areas mentioned under 6th Schedule of Indian Constitution and areas under ILP are outside the impact of CAA, that is Citizenship Amendment Act. That means CAA won't be applicable to these areas. Now one more thing which is associated with this agreement is that the BTR would include the villages that are dominated by Bodo. So the villages dominated by the Bodo community will be included in this BTR, that is Bodoland Territorial Region, and the villages who are in BTAD presently with non-Bodo population will be excluded. So in simplest term, as per this agreement, BTAD will be renamed as BTR. Villages which are dominated by Bodo population will be included into this one, and the villages which are presently in BTAD but with non-Bodo population, those villages will be excluded. In addition to that, the Bodo people living in hills will be given a scheduled hill tribe status. Apart from that, central government has announced a package of rupee 1500 crore for the specific projects related to the development of Bodo areas. So this was the agreement. Now one more agreement was in news, as recently 4-party agreement was signed, and this agreement was signed between central government, state government of Mizoram and Tripura, and representatives of Bru community. Now I have uploaded a special video on this topic, you can watch that. Now problem is that you people keep asking for new content but you are not even watching it. Like special videos are uploaded but only 4-5,000 people are watching them. Similarly, a special video on reports was uploaded and only 10,000 people watched it. These are the high scoring areas. Still you are not focusing on these areas. With State Assembly recently passed a resolution to abolish the state's Legislative Council. So recently, Andhra Pradesh State Assembly passed a resolution to abolish the Legislative Council of State. Actually, the decision was taken at the backdrop of constant opposition in the Legislative Council by the main opposition party TDP, that is Telugu Desam Party, and this party is headed by Mr. Chandrababu Naidu, and TDP is opposing the bill related to decentralization of capital of Andhra Pradesh, and that is why the Legislative Assembly of Andhra Pradesh passed a resolution to abolish the Legislative Council. Now let's understand few important things. First is bicameralism. It means two houses. Like in our parliament we have Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha. Similarly, at state level we have Legislative Council, these are upper houses, and we have Legislative Assembly. Now Article 169 contains the provisions for Legislative Council, and at present, apart from Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Maharashtra and Karnataka have Legislative Council. Now Andhra Pradesh want to abolish Legislative Council because in Legislative Council the decentralization bill is being opposed, and this bill proposes 3 capitals for state of Andhra Pradesh. These 3 capitals are Visakhapatnam, Amravati and Kurnool. Kurnool is going to be the judicial capital, Amravati is going to be the legislative capital, and Visakhapatnam is going to be the executive capital. What is the percentage of government stake in Air India which is announced to be divested? So it is 100%. So as per the recent announcement by the government, 100% of equity share capital of Air India is on sale, and it also includes 100% stakes in AI Express Limited and 50% stakes in Air India SATS Airport Services Limited. Apart from that, the deadline for the submission of bid is March 17. Now, if we compare it with the previous offer, previously 76% stakes were on sale. This time, government offered 100% stakes. Apart from that, net worth for the interested entities was reduced from Rs 5,000 crore to 3,500 crores. That means those who are bidding for this should have net worth of 3,500 crore rupees. Which Indian city was the host of 3rd Global Potato Conclave of 2020? So Gandhinagar was the host, and Prime Minister of India addressed this conclave through video conferencing, and this was the third Global Potato Conclave. The first such conclave held in 1999 and second held in 2008. That means once in a decade. Now, Gandhinagar was in news as it became the first kerosene-free district of Gujarat. Recently, Gujarat was in news as second tallest statue of Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel was inaugurated in Ahmedabad in Gujarat. And recently, the tallest statue of Sardar Patel, which is also known as Statue of Unity, was included in the list of 8 wonders of SCO. SCO stands for Shanghai Cooperation Organization. The headquarters of SCO is not in Shanghai. It is in Beijing. Beijing is in China, and recently China locked Wuhan because of outbreak of coronavirus. In fact, the first informal summit between India and China held in Wuhan in 2018. Now answer in comment box which place was the host for second informal summit between India and China. Which Indian shipbuilder is to deliver the anti-submarine stealth warship INS Kavrati to Indian Navy? So it is GRSE, that is Garden Reach Shipbuilders and Engineers. So GRSE will deliver the anti-submarine stealth warship to Indian Navy, and this INS Kavrati is last of the 4 anti-submarine warfare stealth Kavratis built by GRSE. The first 3 are Kamorta, Kadmat and Kiltan, and this INS Kavrati is going to be the 4th one. Now if we talk about GRSE, it is a defense PSU, headquarter is in Kolkata, and it was nationalized in 1960. Actually it was formed in 1884 and nationalized in 1960. The world's smallest gold chain, which features Albert Einstein, is recently released by which country? So it was released by Switzerland, and this is world's smallest gold coin. In addition to this, another coin featuring tennis star Mr. Roger Federer was also minted. Now Switzerland was in news as Davos is in Switzerland, and the 50th annual meeting of World Economic Forum recently held in Davos. The Indian delegation was led by Mr. Piyush Goyal, and during this World Economic Forum, 1T.org initiative was announced. Now answer in comment box what is the objective of this initiative. Marzan Sarek, who was in news after his resignation, was the Prime Minister of which country? So he was the Prime Minister of Slovenia, and recently he submitted his resignation and called for an early election. Now if we talk about Slovenia, it is a European country and it shares border boundary with Italy, Austria, Hungary and Croatia. Capital of Slovenia is Ljubljana and the currency is Euro. Who has been appointed as the Chief Executive of IBA, that is Indian Banks Association? So recently Mr. Sunil Mehta has taken charge as the Chief Executive of IBA. Previously he was the Chairman of IBA. Now he became the Chief Executive of IBA. So Mr. Sunil Mehta has replaced Mr. VG Kannan as the Chief Executive. Now if we talk about IBA, it was formed in 1946 as a representative body of management of banking in our country, and it is based in Mumbai. Which Indian theatre artist is to be conferred the prestigious French honor Knight of the Order of Arts and Letters? Right answer is Sanjana Kapoor. So the veteran theatre personality and the daughter of Mr. Shashi Kapoor, artist Sanjana Kapoor, is to be presented the French honor Knight of Order of Arts and Letters, and she was given this for her outstanding contribution to the theatre arts. Which Indian squash player became the runner-up in the Pittsburgh Open Squash Tournament? So recently, Mr. Saurav Ghosal became the runner-up in the Pittsburgh Open Squash Tournament after he lost to the Fares Dessouki. He is from Egypt. Which country recently unveiled the historic coin with the inscription Peace, Prosperity and Friendship with All Nations with the date of 31st of January 2020. So from the date itself, you can guess that okay, it is UK, and UK has released this 50 pence coin, and this date is date of Brexit, and this coin is minted to mark the leaving of country from the European Union. The finance minister of UK is Mr. Sajid Javid. Now recently UK was in news as recent NATO summit held in UK. Apart from that, UK was also in news as recently Mauritius accused UK of committing crime against humanity in Chagos Islands. So it is a disputed territory in Indian Ocean. The International Holocaust Remembrance Day is observed globally on which date? So it is observed on 27th of January, and recently the World Holocaust Forum held in Israel. Veteran Indian sportsperson Sunita Chandra, who passed away recently, was associated with sport. So she was associated to hockey, and she was the captain of Indian women's hockey team. She had played for India from 1956 to 1966. Now, if we talk about hockey, India is going to host the Men's Hockey World Cup in 2023, while the Women's Hockey World Cup is going to be co-hosted by Spain and Netherlands. Recently, Spain was in news as the COP25 held in Spain. COP stands for Conference of Parties. Capital of Spain is Madrid and capital of Netherlands is Amsterdam. The Indian Railways is expected to be electrified by which year as per the recent statement of Union Railway Minister. So as per recent statement of Mr. Piyush Goyal, Indian Railway is expected to be electrified by 2024. That means it is set to run entirely on electricity by 2024. And once achieved, India will have the first railway network in the world to run completely on electricity. Now, recently, Mr. Piyush Goyal also announced that by 2030, Indian Railway is going to be net zero carbon emitter. Apart from that, recently Indian Railways was in news as Mr. V.K. Yadav was reappointed as the chairman of Railway Board. In addition to that, recently RPF, that is Railway Protection Force, was renamed as IRPFS, that is Indian Railway Protection Force Service. India's first underwater metro project is set to be launched in which city? So, India's first underwater metro project, the East-West project of Kolkata Metro Rail Corporation, is set to be launched by March 2022. And this metro project runs partly under the famous Hooghly River. And this East-West metro project is owned by two ministries. 74% of the project is owned by Ministry of Railway, and rest 26% is owned by Union Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. JICA, that is Japan International Cooperation Agency, is providing funding to the project. The birth anniversary of which Indian freedom fighter was celebrated on 28th of January, and this freedom fighter is popularly known as Punjab Kesari. So recently, the 155th birth anniversary of Lala Lajpat Rai was celebrated across country on 28th of January. Lala Lajpat Rai was popularly known as Punjab Kesari and Lion of Punjab for his ideology of nationalism and freedom. He was the part of trio of Lal, Bal, Pal. Lal stands for Lala Lajpat Rai, Bal stands for Bal Gangadhar Tilak, and Pal stands for Bipin Chandra Pal. And this trio played a very significant role in the freedom struggle, and Lala Lajpat Rai was injured during the protest against Simon Commission, which subsequently led to his death. The 12th National Conference on Safety in Mines was recently inaugurated in which city? So it was inaugurated in New Delhi, and it was inaugurated by Minister of State for Labour and Employment, Mr. Santosh Kumar Gangwar. Now, this National Conference on Safety in Mines was first organized in 1958. Now, if we talk about mining, recently the Union Cabinet approved Mineral Laws Ordinance. This ordinance will amend Mines and Minerals Development and Regulation Act of 1957. So this ordinance will ease the rules for coal auctioning. Now, if we talk about ordinance, Article 123 of Indian Constitution contains the provisions about ordinance powers of President of India, while Article 213 contains the provisions related to the ordinance powers of Governor. Now answer in comment box, what are the conditions in which ordinance can be passed? As per the Agricultural Department's final estimates, what is the estimated total horticulture production of the country in 2018-19? So recently, final estimates were released by Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare, and the total horticulture production in our country in 2018-19 was 310.74 million ton. It is slightly higher than the previous year production. Now, in case of fruits, flowers, spices and honey, there was improvement in production, while in case of vegetables, aromatic and medicinal plants and plantation crops, there was a reduction in the production. Which Indian state recently signed Memorandum of Understanding with the Government e-Marketplace to set up a Government e-Marketplace Organizational Transformation Team, that is GOTT unit? So recently, Government of Uttar Pradesh signed agreement with Government e-Marketplace, and this Government e-Marketplace is under Commerce Ministry. The objective of this memorandum is to set up GOTT in Uttar Pradesh. GOTT stands for Government e-Marketplace Organizational Transformation Team. Now, if we talk about this GEM, it is like Amazon for the government departments. That means if they have to purchase something, they can purchase it through this platform. So this was started to bring transparency in the procurement. And recently, with this Memorandum of Understanding, Uttar Pradesh became the second state after Punjab to set up this GOTT to efficiently use this GEM initiative. Now, Punjab was in news as recently Punjab passed a resolution against CAA. So far, 4 states have passed resolution against CAA. First was Kerala, then Punjab, then Rajasthan and West Bengal. Kerala was also in news as it has approached Supreme Court under Article 131 in the context of CAA, that is Citizenship Amendment Act. What is the theme of Defence Expo 2020? Right answer is India, the emerging defence manufacturing hub. So the 11th edition of Defence Expo is going to be in Lucknow in Uttar Pradesh, and the theme is India, the emerging defence manufacturing hub, and the sub-theme is digital transformation of defence. The present defence minister is Mr. Rajnath Singh, and recently he was in news as he awarded Assam for the best tableau during Republic Day of 2020. So Assam was given award for best tableau, and Odisha and UP were on second position in terms of tableau during Republic Day ceremony. In addition to that, the tableau of NDRF and Jal Shakti Mission were chosen as the best among ministries and departments. The President of Brazil, Mr. Jair Bolsonaro, was the chief guest of this year's Republic Day ceremony.
The Supreme Court of India recently permitted to introduce which animal to Indian habitat from Namibia? So recently, Supreme Court permitted the central government to introduce African cheetah to the appropriate habitats in India. It should be noted that Asian cheetah has become extinct in our country. Therefore, NTCA, that is National Tiger Conservation Authority, filed a petition in Supreme Court and sought permission for introducing African cheetah. So the Supreme Court recently permitted. The Supreme Court also constituted a committee with 3 members from Wildlife Institute of India, that is WII, and this will guide NTCA in this process. NTCA is a statutory body under Wildlife Protection Act of 1972 and it is the implementing authority of Project Tiger. The chairman of NTCA is Minister of Environment, Forest and Climate Change. Present minister is Mr. Prakash Javadekar. Now, if we talk about Namibia, it is a country in southern Africa and it shares border boundary with Atlantic Ocean. The capital of Namibia is Windhoek. How many wetlands in India were recently added to the Ramsar site list? So recently, Union Environment Minister Mr. Prakash Javadekar announced that 10 more sites have been declared as sites of international importance by Ramsar. Now, if we talk about Ramsar, actually this Ramsar Convention was signed by the countries to preserve the wetlands and recently 10 more sites were added from India. So now total sites became 37. Now these are the 10 sites which were recently added into the list. You can pause the screen and take a screenshot. Now if we talk about Ramsar Convention, it was signed in 1971. Ramsar is a place in Iran. Capital of Iran is Tehran. Now there is a term associated to this Ramsar Convention and it is Montreal's record. Answer in comment box, what is the objective of this record? The tableau of which state has won the best tableau awards for Republic Day Parade 2020? So the tableau of Assam won the best tableau award for Republic Day Parade. On the other hand, Odisha and Uttar Pradesh were jointly on the second position. On the other hand, in department and ministry category, the tableau of NDRF and tableau of Jal Jeevan Mission were awarded, while the CPWD, that is Central Public Works Department, got the special prize. The chief guest for this year's Republic Day ceremony was the President of Brazil, Mr. Jair Bolsonaro. Capital of Brazil is Brasilia and Brazil is a part of G4 group. Now answer in comment box, what is the objective of this group? Who was recently appointed as the Ambassador of India to United States? So Mr. Taranjeet Singh Sandhu has been appointed as the next Indian Ambassador to US. Previous Indian Ambassador to US was Mr. Harshvardhan Shringla. Now he became the Foreign Secretary. The previous Foreign Secretary was Mr. V.K. Gokhale. So present Foreign Secretary is Mr. Harshvardhan Shringla and present Minister of External Affairs is Dr. S. Jaishankar. He is a member of Rajya Sabha from Gujarat. The recently launched Bhuvan Panchayat web portal's new version uses the technology of which organization? So recently, Union Minister of State Mr. Jitendra Singh launched the new version of Bhuvan Panchayat web portal, and this portal will function with the help of satellite technology developed by ISRO. ISRO is Indian Space Research Organization. So the objective of this project is to provide geospatial services to assist the process of development of Gram Panchayats. So with the help of the satellite data, the progress in these projects for the development of Gram Panchayat can be easily monitored. Now, if we talk about ISRO, it is under Department of Space. Present ISRO chief is Dr. K. Sivan and headquarters of ISRO is in Bengaluru in Karnataka. Recently, ISRO was in news as ISRO is going to send Vyom as an experimental mission to Gaganyaan. Vyom is a humanoid robot. Which Hindi word is chosen as Oxford Hindi word of 2019 by the Oxford University Press? So it is Savidhan. So this word Savidhan has been selected as the Oxford Hindi word of 2019 by the Oxford University Press, and Savidhan means Constitution. Which Indian queuist won the title at Senior National Billiards Championship? Right answer is Mr. Pankaj Advani. So recently Mr. Pankaj Advani won the title at the Senior National Billiards Championship, and this is his 33rd national title. This tournament held in Pune, and Mr. Pankaj Advani defeated Mr. Saurabh Kothari. Union Social Justice Minister has recently inaugurated the Composite Regional Center for Empowerment of Persons with Disabilities in which city? So recently, Union Minister for Social Justice and Empowerment, Mr. Thawarchand Gehlot, inaugurated the CRC, that is Composite Regional Center in Port Blair in Andaman and Nicobar Islands. Now the CRC will provide skills and will help in the empowerment of persons with disabilities, and these centers are set up by the Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment. Minister is Mr. Thawarchand Gehlot. The Skill Development Center to train tribals named Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel Center for Empowerment and Livelihoods is to be set up in which state of India? So recently the foundation stone for the Skill Development Center to train tribals of Kevadia village in Gujarat was laid down by the Minister of External Affairs, Mr. S. Jayasankar. As you can see in picture, he is Mr. S. Jayasankar. He is a member of Rajya Sabha from Gujarat. Now the center is named after Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, and it is a joint initiative of Government of Gujarat and a Telangana based foundation. Now it should be noted that the world's tallest statue, the Statue of Unity, is also located in this Kevadia village. It is the statue of Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, and recently this statue was in news as it has been included in the 8 Wonders list of SCO. Now because of this statue, there is a growth in tourism sector in this area, and that is why the Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel Center for Empowerment and Livelihood will train the tribal people in tourism and hospitality management. Now if we talk about SCO, it is Shanghai Cooperation Organization. The headquarters of SCO is in Beijing. Beijing is in China. India and Pakistan became the full-fledged member of SCO in 2017 after Asthana Summit. The new name of Asthana is Nur Sultan. Answer in comment box, it is the capital of which country? Now SCO was also in news as this year India is going to be the host of 19th Council of Heads of Governments of SCO countries, and this meeting will be in New Delhi. Who has been appointed as the Executive Director of the Monetary Policy Department in RBI? RBI is Reserve Bank of India. So recently Mr. Janak Raj has been appointed as the Executive Director of MPD, that is Monetary Policy Department. Now the previous Executive Director was Mr. Michael Patra, who was recently appointed as the Deputy Governor of RBI. Now if we talk about Monetary Policy Committee, it is a 6-member committee, out of which 3 are from RBI and 3 are the external members nominated by the Government of India. Now the 6-member committee meet at least 4 times in a year, and the quorum is 4. That means the meeting will be conducted only if at least 4 members are present, and the Governor of RBI is the ex officio chairperson of this Monetary Policy Committee. Present Governor is Mr. Shaktikant Das, and the decisions in this Monetary Policy Committee are taken on the basis of majority, and the Governor of RBI, that means the chairperson of this Monetary Policy Committee, vote in case of a tie. And the current mandate of this Monetary Policy Committee is to maintain the inflation in the range of 4 ± 2. That means in the range of 2% to 6%. Now this inflation is tracked with the help of CPI, that is Consumer Price Index, and the CPI is prepared by CSO. CPI is Consumer Price Index and it is released by CSO. CSO is Central Statistics Office and it is under Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation. Now this is Consumer Price Index. We have one WPI, that is Wholesale Price Index. Answer in comment box, who release WPI? SO Alban, who was seen in news recently, is associated to with sports. Right answer is cycling. So Mr. Alban is Indian cyclist and he was in news recently as he won the gold medal in 6-day Berlin tournament. So Mr. Alban is the first ever Indian to participate in this 6-day Berlin cycling tournament, and in this event all cyclists compete on every day of the competition, and it is a 6-day competition as the name suggests. So Mr. S.O. Alban won the gold medal on the 5th day of event. Indian Railways has commissioned the country's first governmental waste to energy plant in which city? So recently this plant was commissioned by Indian Railways in Bhubaneswar, under East Coast Railway Zone. And this plant uses a technology named polycrack. And this technology converts the feedstocks into hydrocarbon liquid fuels. Now, if we talk about railways, East Coast Railway Zone is one of the 18 railway zones of Indian Railways. And the headquarters of East Coast Railway Zone is in Bhubaneswar. Recently, Indian Railways was in news as RPF, that is Railway Protection Force, was renamed as IRPFS, that is Indian Railways Protection Force Service. Apart from that, recently Mr. V.K. Yadav was reappointed as the chairman of Railway Board. Present Rail Minister is Mr. Piyush Goyal, and he led the Indian delegation in the recent World Economic Forum event in Davos. Which country has launched a £4 million Innovation Challenge Fund in India? So, recently the government of UK launched £4 million Innovation Challenge Fund in India, and this fund focus on two major tech clusters in Indian states. So, these two focus areas are artificial intelligence and big data. This will be in Karnataka, and another focus area is future mobility. This will be in Maharashtra. So the objective of this initiative is to encourage the collaborative research by the industry and academia for developing technological solutions for the challenges in our country. Now, if we talk about UK, recently elections held in UK and Mr. Boris Johnson got re-elected as the Prime Minister of country. UK was also in news as the recent summit of NATO held in UK. NATO stands for North Atlantic Treaty Organization. The headquarters of NATO is in Belgium in Brussels, and recently Ms. Sophie Willems became the new Prime Minister of Belgium, and she is the first female Prime Minister of the country. Now answer in comment box, who was the first female Speaker of Lok Sabha in our country? For which West African country NTPC recently announced assistance for the development of solar power projects? So recently NTPC, that is National Thermal Power Corporation, has announced that it will provide assistance for the development of 300 megawatt solar power project in Togo. And this is first time a country has sought assistance from NTPC under India-led ISA. ISA is International Solar Alliance. So if we talk about Togo, it is a West African country and the capital of Togo is Lomé, and it shares border boundary with Gulf of Guinea. Now if we talk about ISA, ISA is International Solar Alliance. Recently ISA was in news as the second assembly of ISA held in New Delhi, and it was organized by MNRE, that is Ministry of New and Renewable Energy. Now this ISA initiative was launched by the Prime Minister of India and President of France in 2015 during COP21. COP stands for Conference of Parties. Last year, that is in 2019, this Conference of Parties held in Spain under the presidency of Chile, and this was the COP25. What is the name of mission carried out by Indian Navy to provide assistance to the cyclone-affected population of Madagascar? So recently, Indian Navy engaged in providing humanitarian assistance and disaster relief to the cyclone-affected population of Madagascar. And the name of this operation was Operation Vanilla. Actually, Madagascar was recently hit by a cyclone named Diane. So this is the name of cyclone, and this is the name of operation conducted by Indian Navy to provide humanitarian assistance to the cyclone-affected population of Madagascar. Now, if we talk about geographical location of Madagascar, it is in Indian Ocean, and INS Airawat played a key role during this Operation Vanilla. According to the recent report by SIPRI, which country is the second largest arms producer of world? SIPRI stands for Stockholm International Peace Research Institute. So as per this report, China is the world's second largest arms producer. USA is largest arms producer of world. As per the SIPRI report in 2017, China was on 6th position. But this time, China is on 2nd position in terms of production of arms. Now, if we talk about SIPRI, it is based in Sweden. The headquarters of SIPRI is in Sweden in Solna. It was established in 1966. Khalid bin Khalifa has been recently appointed as the Prime Minister of which Gulf country? So recently Sheikh Khalid bin Khalifa has been named as the new Prime Minister and Interior Minister of Qatar. Capital of Qatar is Doha, and recently Qatar was in news as the first India-Qatar joint naval exercise Jair al-Bahar held in Doha in Qatar, and this was the first ever joint naval exercise between India and Qatar. Apart from that, Qatar was also in news as it is the host of 2022 FIFA World Cup. In addition to that, in 2019, Qatar left OPEC. OPEC stands for Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries. The headquarters of OPEC is in Vienna. Vienna is in Austria. And in 2020, Ecuador also left OPEC. Which Indian javelin thrower has recently qualified for the Tokyo Olympics after the ANAC meet at South Africa? So Mr. Neeraj Chopra has recently qualified for the 2020 Tokyo Olympics. Actually, Mr. Neeraj was suffering from knee injury and therefore he could not participate in the last year's international events. Now this is his first competitive event after his injury, and therefore now he is qualified for the Tokyo Olympics. So Japan is going to be the host of this year's Summer Olympic Games, while France is going to be the host of 2024 Summer Olympic Games. While if we talk about Winter Olympic Games, China is going to be the host of 2022 Winter Olympic Games, while Italy is going to be the host of 2026 Winter Olympic Games. Recently, Italy was in news as it decided to impose web tax on digital companies. Now, this is similar to GAFA tax by France. GAFA stands for Google, Apple, Facebook, Amazon. Which state has recently launched a virtual police station under its flagship 5T initiative? So recently, Odisha government launched this 5T initiative, and this was launched by the Chief Minister of Odisha, Mr. Naveen Patnaik. So a virtual police station will enable the citizens to lodge an FIR directly. What is the full form of FIR? Please answer in comment box. That means FIR can be registered without visiting the police station with the help of this new initiative. Which district has topped the list of aspirational districts for the month of December, and this list is released by NITI Aayog. So ADP, that is Aspirational District Program, is a program for the development of underdeveloped district, and this was started in 2018, and this is a program for the transformation of underdeveloped districts, and it tracked the progress in key sectors. So on the basis of 6 key sectors, recently the list was released by NITI Aayog, and as per that, Chandoli district of Uttar Pradesh is the top performer, while Belangir of Odisha is on second position. Or the 6 developmental areas which were taken into consideration are health and nutrition, agriculture and water resources, financial inclusion, education, skill development, and infrastructure. So on the basis of progress in these 6 sectors, this aspirational district program is working. The goal is to ensure proper development in the lesser developed districts. What is the upper limit for legal abortion as per the Medical Termination of Pregnancy Bill, which was recently approved by the Cabinet? So recently the MTP bill was approved by the Cabinet, and as per this, the upper limit for legal abortion is 24 weeks. The previous limit was 20 weeks. So this Medical Termination of Pregnancy Act of 1971 is amended, and the MTP Bill 2020 was recently approved by the Cabinet, and this draft was proposed by obviously Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. And now this bill is most likely to be presented in the Parliament. Now let's understand why this amendment was done. Now before this amendment, the upper limit for legal abortion was 20 weeks. Now what are the issues which led to change in this upper limit? First issue is that most of the fetal abnormalities in the fetus are detected only after 19th week, and by the time the parents decide to abort, it is too late. Why so? Because the upper limit was 20 weeks. That means after 20 weeks, the abortion was not allowed. Another issue was that since in India, in most of the places don't have advanced ultrasound and antenatal care, due to which abnormalities were detected very late. So because of these reasons, the time was increased from 20 weeks to 24 weeks. And this bill will be now presented in the parliament. In which city, Indian Coast Guard has recently commissioned its C-448 high-speed boat. So recently, ICG, that is Indian Coast Guard, has commissioned C-448 high-speed boat in Mangaluru in Karnataka. And this C-448 is a water jet propelled interceptor vessel. So it will be deployed for patrolling and rescue operations on the coast of the coast of Mangaluru. Recently, Mr. Tushar Kanjilal passed away in Kolkata. He was the famous personality of which field? So he was a well-known social worker and he passed away recently. Popularly, people used to call him Master Moshai, and he authored a book, Who Killed Sundarbans. Sundarbans are famous for mangroves. What is the theme of World Sustainable Development Summit 2020? So the theme is Towards 2030 Goals, Making the Decade Count, and this summit held in New Delhi from 29th of January to 31st of January, and it was organized by TERI. TERI stands for the Energy and Resource Institute. So the summit was first organized in 2001. It provided a platform for the discussion of climatic issues. The Surajkund International Craft Mela is a flagship annual event organized by which state? So it is organized by Haryana at Surajkund, and that's why it is Surajkund International Craft Mela. Now this year Himachal Pradesh is selected as a theme state. The Chief Minister of Himachal Pradesh is Mr. Jairam Thakur. As per the recent survey of Transparency International, which state has been ranked at the top in budget formulation practices? So Assam is on top in terms of budget formulation practices as per the survey by Transparency International, and the 4 parameters were considered for this survey. These are public disclosures, budgetary process, post-budget fiscal management, and transparency. So Assam was the top performer, while Goa, Maharashtra, and Punjab were the worst performers. Assam was also in news as recently Assam won the Best Tableau Award in the recent Republic Day ceremony. And during this Republic Day ceremony, the President of Brazil, Mr. Jair Bolsonaro, was the chief guest. Brazil was also in news as the recent summit of BRICS held in Brazil. Answer in comment box which country will be the host of next summit of BRICS. Which Indian has been recently appointed as the United Nations Resident Coordinator in Thailand? So Ms. Geeta Sabharwal of India has been appointed as the UN Resident Coordinator in Thailand. The resident coordinators are the representatives of United Nations Development System, and they support the member countries in achieving the SDG targets. SDG stands for Sustainable Development Goals. There are total 17 Sustainable Development Goals. So Ms. Geeta Sabharwal was appointed as the UN Resident Coordinator in Thailand. One more personality is there, Geeta Gopinath. She is the Chief Economist of IMF. IMF stands for International Monetary Fund, and the MD of IMF is Kristalina Georgieva. Answer in comment box, she is from which country? Amazon India recently partnered with Eastern Railways to set up a pickup kiosk in which railway station? So Amazon partnered with Eastern Railways to set up a pickup kiosk in the Sialdah railway station in Kolkata. Now what is the meaning of this pickup kiosk? Actually, by selecting the railway station as the pickup location, the customer can pick up their package from the station itself. So this will act as a collection center. So a customer can order any item from Amazon and can select Sialda station as a pickup center, and from there the customer can pick it up. So if we talk about Amazon, the founder of Amazon is Mr. Jeff Bezos, and recently he was in India and he promised to invest $1 billion in India for the digitization of small and medium businesses in our country. Amazon was also in news because of Project Zero. The objective of this project is to prevent the sale of fake goods. Which international smartphone firm recently signed a memorandum of understanding with IIT Hyderabad for the research and development projects? So recently Oppo signed MOU with IIT Hyderabad for collaborating in R&D projects in emerging technologies such as image processing and artificial intelligence. The headquarters of Oppo is in China, and recently China was in news because of coronavirus. I have uploaded a separate video on this topic. You can watch that. Now, if we talk about artificial intelligence, Telangana is celebrating 2020 as Year of Artificial Intelligence. Apart from that, recently, world's first University of Artificial Intelligence was in news, and the name of university is Mohammed bin Zayed University of Artificial Intelligence. It is in UAE, that is United Arab Emirates. According to the recent report by the TomTom, which is the most traffic congested city of the world. So recently TomTom released a report, and as per that report, Bengaluru is the world's most traffic congested city, and the capital of Philippines, Manila, is on second position. It should be noted that Mumbai is on fourth position, while Pune is on fifth position and New Delhi is on eighth position. Now, if we talk about this report by TomTom, this is 9th annual traffic report. TomTom is a Netherlands-based firm. The capital of Netherlands is Amsterdam. What is the name of Maharashtra-based social activist and founder of Nari Samta Manch, a center for gender equality? Right answer is Ms. Vidya Bal. So recently, the founder of Nari Samta Manch, Ms. Vidya Bal, passed away. She was Maharashtra-based social activist. The first World Neglected Tropical Disease Day was celebrated on which date? So it was celebrated on 30th of January to create awareness about the NTD, that is neglected tropical disease. These are caused by parasites and bacteria. Now why these are neglected? Because these diseases mostly affect the developing or least developed countries. That's why major pharma companies are not interested to invest in the treatment or the vaccination of these diseases. So the first World Neglected Tropical Disease Day was celebrated on 30th of January. Actually, this was announced by the Crown Prince Court of Abu Dhabi. The Assam Rifles Force has constructed a war memorial for the personnel killed during insurgency. Now, in which state this war memorial was constructed? So, it was constructed in Nagaland, and the name of this war memorial is Veer Smriti. If we talk about Assam Rifles, it was founded in 1835. Assam Rifles was also in news as MHA, that is Ministry of Home Affairs, proposed that Assam Rifles should be merged with ITBP, that is Indo-Tibetan Border Police. Assam Rifles guard Indo-Myanmar border. Bala Devi, who was seen in news recently, is associated with which sports? So she is associated to football, and she became the first Indian women footballer to sign up with a professional football club. Actually, recently, the prestigious European club Rangers Women FC signed the Indian footballer from Manipur for 18 months. So that is why she was in news. Which state has raised the stipend of unemployed youth to 5,000 rupee under Yuva Swabhiman Yojana? So the state is Madhya Pradesh. Actually, the scheme was started in January 2019 to provide 100 days of work and stipend to unemployed youth. Now, the conditions of the scheme were revised and the state government has raised the stipend of unemployed youth to rupee 5,000. Also, the state government decided to provide 365 days guaranteed work days for them. The Chief Minister of Madhya Pradesh is Mr. Kamal Nath. In Bhopal in Madhya Pradesh, India's first e-waste clinic was started. This was a collaboration between Bhopal Municipal Corporation and CPCB. CPCB is under Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change. Present Minister is Mr. Prakash Javadekar. Which Indian has been recently awarded the Tyler Prize for Environmental Achievement? So recently, Mr. Pawan Sukhdev was awarded the Tyler Prize for Environmental Achievement. Mr. Sukhdev is the Goodwill Ambassador of UNEP. UNEP stands for United Nations Environment Programme, and the Tyler Prize was instituted in 1973 and it is considered as the Nobel Prize for Environment. Now, if we talk about UNEP, it was founded in 1972 on 5th of June. 5th of June is celebrated as World Environment Day. The headquarters of UNEP is in Nairobi. Nairobi is in Kenya. Flipkart recently signed a memorandum of understanding with which states Handloom and Handicrafts Development Corporation for the promotion of local handicrafts. So Flipkart signed MOU with Gujarat for the promotion of local handicrafts, and this is a part of initiative of Flipkart, and the name of this initiative is Smarth, and this initiative aims at assisting local artisans to access the global market through Flipkart marketplace. Now recently Gujarat was also in news as the second tallest statue of Sardar Patel was launched. The second tallest statue of Sardar Patel was unveiled in Ahmedabad. The tallest statue of Sardar Patel is also in Gujarat, and the name of this statue is Statue of Unity. And recently, the statue was included in the list of 8 wonders of SCO. SCO stands for Shanghai Cooperation Organization. The headquarters of SCO is in Beijing. India and Pakistan became the member of SCO in 2017. Recently, which country set a Guinness World Record for the highest altitude fashion show event? So this country is Nepal, and Nepal organized this highest altitude fashion show event near the Mount Everest base camp, and this is a new Guinness World Record. So this initiative was a part of Visit Nepal 2020, and this was the campaign which was started by the Tourism Board of Nepal. Nepal was also in news because of Sagarmatha Samvad. Recently, Nepal invited Prime Ministers of India and Pakistan along with several other heads of the government for this Sagarmatha Samvad. The capital of Nepal is Kathmandu, currency is Nepali rupees, Prime Minister of Nepal is Mr. KP Sharma Oli, and President of Nepal is Ms. Vidya Devi Bhandari. So these were the important questions. Thank you, and that's all for the day.